This video is on Farm Bill 2020. You must have seen in the news that farmers in India have been protesting since three controversial bills were passed in the parliament in the name of agriculture reforms. They are: the first one is the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill 2020. The second one is the Farming Produce, Trade and Commerce, Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020. And the third one is the Essential Commodities Amendment Bill 2020. First, let me explain what these bills are. The first one is the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement on Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill 2020. When you look at these words, Empowerment, Protection, Agreement, it is easy to understand that this bill has something to do with protecting the farmer's interest through a legal agreement. Now the question is, protect the farmers from what? Again, we need to look at the title of the bill. It says on price assurance and farm services. That means if you are a farmer and I'm a business owner and I want to buy your products, it could be dal, chawal, gehu, sabzi, whatever. For that, I need to get into a legal agreement with you. And this legal agreement is for a farmer's interest, so that a farmer is not cheated. A farmer can be cheated by a company in many ways. Suppose if I tell you that I need 1 ton of rice at so-and-so price. And later I will tell you that half of the rice is not of good quality. Hence, I will change the pricing now. So to prevent these kind of change of thoughts or any other form of exploitation, this bill provides a dispute settlement mechanism between a farmer and a buyer by an established authority. So far everything looks good. Now I want you to pay attention to the last two words, farming services. I mean, we understand what is price assurance. Whatever a farmer and a buyer decides over an agreement, that is what should be paid to the farmer. This we know. But what is the context of the words farm services? It sounds like as if a buyer can specifically tell the farmer what quality or grade is required, when to deliver the products, and there could be many more such demands. Now this is called contract farming. The agreement will outline conditions for the production of farm products and for their delivery to the buyer's premises. The farmer then agrees to supply products based on the quality standards and delivery requirements of the purchaser and many other matters. In return, the buyer, which is usually a company, agrees to buy the product, often at a price that is established in advance. That means the primary purpose of this act is for contract farming. And the secondary purpose of this act is providing a nationwide legal framework wherein a farmer will produce crops as per contracts with corporate investors for a mutually agreed remuneration. The government says that this act will transform Indian agriculture and attract private investment. Well, if you see, it does attract private investment. Companies often agree to support the farmers through supplying inputs, assisting with land preparation, providing production advice, and transporting produce to its premises. However, if you look at the farmer's side, their fear is that a powerful corporate investor would legally dominate the farmers and put the liability clauses on them. As you know, everything today comes with a condition apply that many of the educated people find it difficult to follow up. So obviously there are chances where a private company can exploit a farmer very easily with legal clauses. This is a major problem for the farmers, and it is a genuine one. Let's go to the second bill, the Farming Produce, Trade and Commerce, Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2020. If you look at the title, it says Trade and Commerce, Promotion and Facilitation. That means it is talking about trading of farm goods outside the physical premises of mandi or APMC yards. Earlier, agricultural trade could be conducted only in the APMC yards, like warehouses and cold storages or mandis. But this new act will give farmers the freedom to sell their goods anywhere within the state or outside any state. If you all know that all the subjects in India are divided into 3 lists: Union list, state list and concurrent list. Agriculture comes under the state list. Many states like Punjab and Haryana could lose a big source of state revenue. You must have seen your parents on Saturday or Sunday going to a mandi to buy vegetables and other agricultural supplies. Now these mandis are spread across the nation and farmers sell their agricultural produce in these mandis. And these mandis are controlled by state government through APMC. Now there are restrictions for farmers if they sell their agricultural produce outside the mandis because the products that have a minimum support price need to be compulsorily go through APMC. Otherwise, if you see, small farmers can sell directly to consumers. They are even doing it now. But if you are a large-scale farmer and you want your produce to be protected by the government, then you have to notify APMC or trade with only APMC licensed trader. So anyhow, this bill will allow barrier-free trade in agriculture produce outside the notified APMC mandis. With the help of this bill, the state government will not impose taxes on sale and purchase of farm produce outside the mandis and give farmers the freedom to sell their produce at good price. If you see, this bill is beneficial for big farmers because they will have more choices and they can actually start selling to the private players. On the other hand, this will hardly make a difference to the small farmers. They are anyhow selling outside the mandis, plus due to transportation and logistic costs, small farmers don't have any incentive to go long distance or intrastate to sell the goods. So yes, some big farmers will get better choices. But I also want to bring in another perspective. This is also a way for the government to get out of the agricultural business. Once the farmers get an entry into the market, they can sell to anyone and earn more. However, farmers' income will also depend upon ups and downs of the market. Suppose the demand for a particular product in the market is low. Due to low demand, the prices will fall. But the cost of cultivation was high. You see, now a farmer will be squeezed between the cost of cultivation and low prices. In this situation, the government will not intervene by giving any form of subsidy or procurement. So there is a trade-off. You can't have everything. Plus the private players are smart. They function on low cost. They will use every strategy to buy at less price and sell it at a high price to earn profit. And the third bill is the Essential Commodities Amendment Bill 2020. Now this one is not a new bill. Central government has made an amendment in the existing Essential Commodities Bill. First of all, what is Essential Commodities Bill? Basically, it's a law that controls the production, supply and distribution of certain commodities. From the title of the bill, you can figure out that it's talking about essential commodities. Now, what are those commodities? Now, these commodities are such things, suppose if you illegally store them for creating artificial demand, or you do black marketing of such commodities, it will affect the normal life of the people. For example, certain essential food, medicines, fuel, petroleum products, etc. With the help of this law, the central government can include new commodities as and when the need arises, and it can also take them off the list once the situation improves. For example, let's say there is shortage of onion. Suppose there are some traders or wholesalers, they have kept a lot of onion in stock in order to create artificial demand. When the demand increases, obviously the price will increase. So the whole idea behind creating artificial demand is to sell a product at a higher price. Now what the central government can do is, it can bring onions under the act to make sure that onions are available to people at the right price. Recently in March 2020, the central government brought masks and hand sanitizers under the act to make sure that these products are available to the people at the right price and in the right quality during the pandemic in India. Then from 1st July 2020, the government again removed masks and hand sanitizers from essential commodity list. So I hope now you understand the purpose of this bill. Now the amendment that has been suggested and then added in this bill is regarding removing certain commodities as essential. So what the government of India did was it removed certain commodities as essential so that it will allow the government to regulate their supply and prices only in cases of war, famine, extraordinary price rises or natural calamities. And those commodities are food items including cereals, pulses, potato, onion, edible oil seeds and oils. As you can see, these commodities are consumed on daily basis by you and me. Now that these commodities are removed from the essential list, that means obviously their prices will go up. And the government is saying that these items will be added back into the essential list only during situations like war, famine, extraordinary price rises or natural calamities. So on one hand, by removing these items from the essential commodities list, the government has taken a good step towards boosting farmers' income. But if you look at foodstuffs like pulses, onions and edible oil, They are part of every household's daily essential commodities. Now that the government is not going to regulate the supply of such food items, then there is a high chance of hoarding. That is why right now if you go to the market, you will find that the cost of these items have increased. The new amendment also states that the government will regulate the stocks of these items based on rising prices. Now there are few more conditions to it. You see, pulses, cereals, oilseeds and edible oil, they are non-perishable items. In other words, they can be stored at room temperature for months or years as they have longer shelf life. So the government is saying that it will only interfere and bring these items again in the essential commodities list if there is a 50% increase in the retail price of these non-perishable item. For example, let's say the cost of your favorite dal is 100 rupees kg. Well, now the dal is no longer in the essential list. If at all tomorrow the cost goes more than 50%, that is 151 rupees per kg, only then the government will interfere and bring it back into the essential list in order to control its pricing. So 50% is the limit set for non-perishable items. For perishable items like onion, potato, the limit is set to 100%. That means if the cost of onion today is, let's say 50 rupees kg, if at all the cost goes up more than 100%, that is 101 rupees per kg, only then the government will interfere and bring it back into the essential list in order to control its price. So 100% is the limit set for perishable food items. So on one hand, by removing these items from the essential commodities list, the government has taken a good step towards boosting farmers' income. But on the other hand, there will be price rise and risk of hoarding, and black marketing will increase, and that might lead to monopoly of few individuals over prices of certain goods. Because let's say if I'm a trader or a big agricultural company or a private retailer like Reliance, Spencer or any of the food market chain that you see near your place, I can now go deep into villages to buy agricultural products directly, give the farmers the best price and come back to the city and earn a profit anywhere between 50% to 100% depending on whether it is perishable or non-perishable item. For example, in the above example I said if tomorrow the cost of dal goes up more than 151 rupees per kg, as per this new amendment, only then the government will interfere to control its price. Now as a private company, I have the liberty to set the price of the dal anywhere between 100 to 150 rupees kg. Of course, I cannot blindly sell it at the highest price because then I will lose out on customers. But then I'm also assuming that the farmers are smart and they will also increase their price while selling it to these private players. If that is the case, still the private companies will sell it at higher price to make profit. So it doesn't matter. Ultimately, it is going to pinch yours and my pocket. And we all know that agriculture as a subject comes under the state list. So the opposition parties are saying that it is a highly centralizing act. The center is interfering with the state subjects. But if you see, the central government is interfering little bit, not completely, because the Essential Commodities Act gives the power to the central government. Plus, the central government is not deciding the price of any agricultural commodity. It is just setting a limit within which the price has to fluctuate. So these are the 3 farm bills introduced by the central government. I hope you have gained some clarity over it. But one thing you have to prepare for is that the cost of the food items will rise. I hope you found this video informative. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I will see you in the next one.